You shouldn't be either. Hi. Welcome back to Not Coming Soon. Sincerest apologies. We dropped White Horse Part 1 on you, and you're just salivating for Part 2, and it doesn't come for quite a while. But it's just because we care so much, and we're putting so much effort into the writing.
Indeed.
That we want to do it right. So we took our time. But now we're back. You can feast on Part 2 of The White Horse. But before we get to that, oh, by the way, I'm Ryan.
I'm Jeff.
He's Jeff. I'm Ryan. And this is Part 2. But before we get to Part 2 itself, Jeff, what are you watching?
Well, okay, so here's the thing.
Yeah.
I know that people were waiting to hear about the White Horse Part 2.
Yeah.
I would like to first start with a follow-up on the mini rant that happened last episode about the reunion of NSYC.
Oh.
The last we talked, there was some sort of weird announcement that NSYC was getting back together. They gave out an award at the VMAs. They did a Hot Ones episode the day that we recorded the previous episode, and since then, not too much has happened in the realm of NSYC, except for in the realm of Justin Timberlake, and that has been very interesting to see as well. NSYC released a song which is just going to be in Trolls. It's just a very generic sounding pop song that is going to be in the new Trolls movie. Awesome. You're really contributing a lot to society with this. Wow. But a side thing that has happened in the intervening weeks, Britney Spears has released her new autobiography, and there is some damning passages about Justin Timberlake and his relationship with Britney Spears. And I don't want to get too much into all of that, but I'm just really, really curious about what it does to the continually dwindling celebrity status of Justin Timberlake.
He's just been, as of late, he's just been Branch.
Yeah,
Branch.
Like,
he hasn't been doing much else. Right?
He's just been the troll.
He's just been the troll.
I did watch a recently released Netflix movie called Reptile, in which he plays the husband of a woman who's been murdered.
Oh.
His role is not huge in the movie. The movie itself is not great. It's just like kind of like a gritty, straight to video crime drama.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm just baffled.
Yeah.
I'm baffled by it. And if you're curious, my thoughts on Reptile, go ahead and get yourself to Letterboxd. I'm Jeff Myers on Fires there. Just a little plug there.
Did you?
And that's really, yeah. Are you familiar? Have you been seeing the stuff about the Britney Spears biography?
I've been seeing a lot of stuff about Britney Spears. I don't know. I've not seen anything about the contents of the autobiography. Seems like she could use help. It's just concerning activities, but mostly memes. So I actually don't even listen to my take because I really don't have any facts whatsoever. I just see a lot of memes.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
No idea.
I don't know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to rehash anything that's been discussed in gossip pads. Yeah. I'm just looking at it as a from an archaeological perspective on
purely scientific
what it means for the status of these celebrities, and it's really just deeply fascinating to me. But what I have watched in the intervening time between episodes is much more interesting.
Hey, yeah, there you go.
I have seen the movie Dumb Money.
Yeah.
It chronicles the GameStop phenomenon and other meme stocks. With the Robin Hood and the burning of pandemic stimulus money in people's pockets, and the fight against Wall Street and all that. It was an entertaining movie.
Yeah.
And it was told in a very fun way. I felt like it did really well at integrating the internet into the movie. You know, like I feel like there are movies that do it really poorly.
Yes.
Like they will put a TikTok up, or they'll fake a Instagram reel, or they'll do like a fake talking head on TV, and it doesn't feel true to the actual nature of the thing that they're trying to portray.
Yeah.
And I felt like this did a really good job at doing that.
That is interesting.
There are TikToks. There are actual reels of and like TV clips, interview clips of like CNBC people on like actual clips, and then they bring in some of the real anchors and things like that to do bits in the movie. And that is where it felt most unrealistic, where it's like, I know what you look like on TV, and I know what you look like when this movie producer filmed you, and it looks different. Like the way that they're maybe dressed and presented, it's a little jarring to see. Yeah, but I would watch Paul Dano run for hours.
Does he run so often, or is it one standout scene that he runs?
He runs often, and then there's one standout scene.
That's excellent. That's really excellent.
But this guy he's playing ran a lot, apparently. He was trying to crack a 4-minute mile.
So he's a runner. Is it based on a true guy? An actual person?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's an actual person, and there is a bunch of other people in the movie. So they tell it from the perspective of, it's mostly from the perspective of Paul Dano. But then there's also, like, he's definitely the protagonist of the movie, but then there's also these splintering stories. So there's a nurse who gets caught up in the whirlwind of the meme stock.
Yeah.
Who's in debt and single mother who's trying to put food on the table, and like has felt disenfranchised and all that. And that's America Ferrera is that character. And then there's 2 college students who are in deep student debt that are having fun fighting the man. Yeah. There's a GameStop employee.
Oh, that's fun.
By Anthony Ramos.
Oh yeah.
And then there's the hedge fund guys.
Yes.
The main one that they follow is Seth Rogen.
Yeah. Okay.
And then Paul Dano's the main character there. So it was pretty interesting to see the way that they portrayed the different people. And I'm gonna just spoil just a little bit. It's a true story, the way that they do the text roll at the end, like to give updates on everybody. Yeah. There's like this one line of text at the end that's like, Wall Street was changed forever. The little guy took on Wall Street and won, and changed the game forever.
What's GameStop trading at these days?
Exactly. Well, there's many things that I like. I almost laughed at that line. Yeah. Just the way that you know at the end of The Big Short, when they do that. Yeah, right. Ryan Gosling does the voiceover, talks about how all the people went to jail, and there was all these reforms, and right. Wall Street was safe again, or like the Wall Street had to take on less risk and all. Yeah. And then he's like, "Just kidding. That's not how America works." It felt like that, but there was no
JK
reverse. Yeah. It was silly. One Wall Street firm went down. One like mutual fund who bet heavily on this stock failed, they were bailed out by another hedge fund. Yeah. How is that changing Wall Street forever?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, so they have one intern who works on following Reddit now to make sure that they're not caught up in something like that again. I bucked against this, and then I laughed even harder when it was scrolling through the credits, and the Winklevoss twins were two of the executive producers, the fake inventors of Facebook. who sued Mark Zuckerberg
yeah.
in the Social Network. Yeah,
I didn't
who are now
realize
crypto
that.
bros. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, how are they doing?
So, yeah. No, I mean they come from money and they will always have money.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of laughable that they are the ones who are like, the little guy took on Wall Street and won.
Yeah. It's like Amazon producing The Boys, being critical of big business. Oh, but that also, we recently watched the latest season of Black Mirror. Did you watch that? Mm-hmm. That episode where this guy goes back home, and there's like the story with the killer, and they do the documentary, and then it's them getting awards, and like that's like all the bad, like the terrible look of Evan Peters getting like all these awards for playing this absolute monster, and then like you guys getting awards for like portraying these victims and all that. Netflix is like, see, we get it.
Yeah.
It's like I don't. I'm not sure that you do.
No, I don't know. I like good for them for continuing to produce that, but it is really like the whole Netflix fake Netflix thing throughout
Strawberry
the whole season.
Or whatever, cranberry, whatever it was.
Yeah, whatever berry it was.
Yeah,
but the wasn't it the first episode where it's like they have actors playing actors in a simulation?
Yeah, I like that episode.
Yeah, I liked a lot of those episodes. I thought they were really good. But yeah, it is pretty insane. And then you see things, like they continue to do things that are like, do you actually understand the content that you're producing? Because they ran like their own Squid Game. Like an actual, like they put on like hey, the concept of Squid Game. We're going to run a game show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know that's dystopian?
I questioned the last 2 episodes of that Black Mirror season because they were like supernatural, or at least the werewolf one.
I did not like the demon one.
That made no sense. At all in the realm of Black Mirror. Yeah, it was very odd.
The whole thing is to hold a mirror to society, paparazzi and celebrity news and all that for the werewolf one, but I don't know about the demon one. I think there was definitely elements of like literally demonizing minorities.
I don't know. Yeah, and I get the point they were going for with the paparazzi one. Yeah, because that was the first one with like the ending, like completely felt out of left field. Like we saw the moon and we're like, what is she gonna do? Turn into a werewolf? And she literally turns into a werewolf. What? When does anything like this happen in Black Mirror?
Sometimes the most obvious answer is the answer.
Right. Occam's razor. Am I right? Science. Anyway, yeah, that one. I remember we watched the paparazzi episode, and it was like too late to watch another one, and I'm like had this bad taste in my mouth. I'm like, okay, next day we're watching the next one. And I was just like, what happened? What is it going on? Yeah. Anyway, apologies. If you liked it, that's great.
I think that you have another installment of Ryan watches a critically acclaimed movies from last year, well after award season.
Yeah. No, that's welcome back to this segment of the show where I watch a movie in an airplane and try not to cry in the seat. I watched The Whale the few days ago, a week or so ago, that I've been wanting to watch ever since. Like I tried to find a time to go to theaters, like it didn't work out, and I couldn't find it anywhere. It's on Delta, baby. Fly Delta. I see it and I'm like, okay, I gotta watch that. But I'm always very uncomfortable when there's stuff on watching on a flight and there's adult content of some variety, like sex scenes or nude scenes or anything like that. I'm always like, I cover the screen. I'm thinking that's not going to be part of The Whale when the very first shot is him in a chair doing the deed, cranking it. So you can imagine my surprise. I just like put the brightness all the way down, which worked pretty well. You can't really see it if the brightness all the way down. But other than that,
it's crazy the content that they put on those TV screens.
I know it is. Yeah, because like anybody, there's parental controls, but you set them at your seat, so it's not like
And you can't control who's looking at it over the shoulder or anything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There's like a baby sitting next to you. You could be watching the most heinous debauchery. I don't know, man. It's crazy. But yeah, let's continue with that. Let's not get sidetracked with.
It was beautiful the way he talks about literature and the struggle he has, obviously, with his whole situation and specifically his daughter, and just the emotion in Brendan Fraser's voice and face were just like enough to break your heart. It was very powerful, and then the end, I'm like, seriously, I'm like fighting back tears as hard as I possibly could. Such a beautiful concept. I did not expect the source of that essay. I didn't think that's what. I didn't guess that it was a bit of a spoiler. His daughter wrote the essay that calms him down, or that he wants to hear before he dies. Yeah, which I'm assuming that's what he's doing. That's what happens at the end, correct? I would
believe so.
But I also always, in the back of my mind the whole time, I'm like, is that not a little brutal to name the movie The Whale? But it ties it. Don't worry, they address it.
Don't worry, they address it. Emotionally manipulative. That was brutal.
Yeah, it was.
Well, Brendan Fraser also in another movie that you recently watched, right?
Yes. So, Killers of the Flower Moon by Martin Scorsese. We're going to tread lightly here, which is going to be very difficult on my part. 3 hours and 30-ish minutes, somewhere around there. I'm pretty sure, I was trying to think about this, I'm pretty sure that's the longest movie I've ever sat down and watched. I can't imagine, I mean, Endgame might have been close to that. Gone with the Wind is up there, but I don't know if I've sat down and watched that. When Gone with the Wind would come on TNT or AMC or whatever, it would be the block of the entire freaking day because of the commercials. Yeah. Yeah, extremely long run time. I would not say it felt that long.
Hey, that's something.
It's something. It definitely did not feel that long. That is also what the waiter at Puccini's, he said the same. Yeah, I don't want to say too much about this.
Oh, Killers of the Flower Moon is actually 3 minutes shorter than The Irishman.
Oh, okay. I watched The Irishman. Man, Martin, I don't know. I'm not going to say you got to work on cutting because I think it works, but...
Yeah. Well, Wolf of Wall Street is 3 hours. Oppenheimer's 3 hours. Dances with Wolves is 3 hours.
I didn't realize Wolf of Wall Street was 3 hours.
Yeah. Endgame is 3 hours and 2 minutes. So yes, we are well above.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, it did not feel like the longest movie I've ever seen. I will say this: the trailer, especially the first trailer, is not. I was expecting a different movie based on that trailer. Okay. And with that, I'll let you run with that, and then we'll discuss at length afterwards because I have a lot I want to talk about, and discuss with you. But
okay, come back for a deeper dive.
Yeah.
Into Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yes. Yeah, I don't want to give anything not that it's like a twisty turny film. Like I'm not going to give away spoilers here. I want you to go in with a
I barely want to know if you liked it or not.
I liked it, but I feel myself reserved in saying so. And that's not because it's not public opinion, because public opinion is pretty in favor. It's just I didn't walk away with the same feeling I thought I would. Another movie that I watched on the little screen, Mile High City, was Blackberry. The amazing Icarus story of the first phone email machine. Yeah. I watched 98% of this movie before I had to get up and deboard the plane. So, no spoilers. But I loved it. You never hear the story from Mr. Second Place, you know? History is written by the victors, not the Blackberries of the world. So it was interesting to hear and see their meteoric rise and plummeting failure.
Yeah.
Plummeting failure.
it's crazy how quickly they just completely lost.
Yeah, gone,
They
obsolete
owned it
in a day.
Yeah, crazy. And like their attempts to catch up just failed equally. Like, how could you lose that lead so fast?
Yeah,
and not see it coming.
It's just completely gone. And their differentiator, one of their highest acclaimed parts of their product, the keyboard and the clicking of the keyboard. Like, how do you have something so successful?
Yeah,
it's got to be difficult to anticipate something can literally revolutionize the entire industry.
Yeah,
it was very interesting to see that play out, and the dangers of bureaucratizing your creative minds. Don't do it, okay? Creativity doesn't exist in a boardroom. Let's go with that.
Let the nerds be nerds.
Let the nerds be nerds. That's exactly correct.
Yeah.
That's what you need to do. That's where this all went wrong.
Yeah.
It's all the suits.
All the suits came in. Ruined everything.
Which also is because, like, it's pretty clear that's one of the points they're trying to make. It'd be interesting to see, not that I'm calling them biased against that form of business, but I wonder how dramatic that change actually was. And the hair.
Yeah.
Did the hair actually change? I feel like there's pictures of...
There's got to be.
What's the actor's name? He's in How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh, man. Jay Baruchel?
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, in the span of maybe 10 years, right? Is the span of, they become...
It's crazy to think how short of a timeline we're talking about here.
Yeah. With
such a huge rise and a steep, almost instant fall.
Yeah. It's I would watch it if you can, especially the youngins today can't. They hold the iPhone. I did this as I'm watching it. I had my iPhone in my lap, and I was just like, "Man, what did you do?" It's crazy. We don't think about it.
What did you take from us?
I did get chills watching. Yeah, the Steve Jobs do his thing out there for iPhone 1.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, go see Blackberry.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I saw it in theaters, in a packed theater, like well into its theatrical run. I was like,
nice.
I was so happy. I was like,
nice.
Man, Dennis getting his due.
Dennis. It was good to see
great.
him Dennising out.
Yeah.
Did you see the whole cast went to one of the NLCS games for the Phillies?
Oh, nice. Yeah.
It didn't end well, but can you imagine looking up and you just see the gang right behind you? That'd be hilarious.
Unreal.
Unreal.
What a life they lead.
Yeah,
but the director of Blackberry, I
Yes.
have another recommendation for you.
Yes,
he directed this movie called Project Avalanche.
Oh, yeah?
And
that sounds familiar.
What it is a comedy of errors that is the telling of... I might have actually already addressed this with you.
You might have. This sounds familiar.
But this is just going to tie it together. It's a comedy of errors where it is a imagining of what it would have been like if the moon landing had been faked.
Yes.
Highly recommend.
Okay.
So if the moon landing was faked, this is what that project might have looked like. And it's like found footage documentary style.
Nice. I'm curious if there's any moon landing conspiracy theorists out there watching this show. Where did the Stanley Kubrick thing come up? Because it's supposedly Stanley Kubrick directed the moon landing. Why would they add that? It's like some dude that was just like doubling down, like, "Hey, did you know they didn't actually land on the moon?" I'm like, "You're crazy." He's like, "Yeah, Stanley Kubrick directed it." Like, why was that seemed like a weird thing to throw in.
I think timeline wise, it is like it lines up. He's like maybe working on a space movie at the
2001
same
maybe
at like a similar timeline. So they bring him in because he knows how to film space.
Oh, okay. But then,
so I guess like if you are saying like, okay, we need to fake the moon landing and we need somebody who is at the top of their craft in filmmaking to make this look real.
So, but then it's also like saying in the same situation today, and like we're gonna get Christopher Nolan. But I wonder if that's like I saw him coming out of the studio with fake moon dust or something. I wonder if it's like based in something or somebody was just like talking out of their butt.
Yeah.
But interesting. Project Avalanche, you said?
Project Avalanche.
Project Avalanche.
And let me, I don't remember where it, I don't know where it is now to stream, but I watched it on, are you familiar with a service called Canopy?
Yes.
It is Canopy.
Doesn't it have something to do, isn't it like a library?
Something it's kind of like a library thing. Yeah. Where they like kind of try to do more art housey important or indie kind of films. And it's free. You just tie it. I think you just tie it to a library card or something.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I think that gives us enough to dive into the White Horse Part 2.
I think it is.
The White Horse. Now, first order of business, I think we should iron out some way to make that title make some sense other than the fact that we obscurely remember an ad on TBS, TNT,
FX. Very funny.
TBS, very funny, where they are amping you up to watch Lord of the Rings on TBS, and it's Gandalf in white, and it says going back in time, White Horse. That's where the title came from. It was based on nothing but vibes. So we are actually going to tie it into the film itself. And
do you want to give a quick overview of the film, just for people who I don't know who would do this?
Well, I recommend, since we sometimes do have these delays, you really should watch the previous parts before you watch. Like, so if you already watched it, you should watch it again. You should binge the 2 together or the 3 together. I highly recommend. So the White Horse. Time travel exists in this realm, people. It exists, and it is used for entertainment. It is used to set up displays of the past. The past has become nothing more than a field trip. Essentially, real life Westworld. It's like if you were to go in on a train in Westworld, and instead of robots, you're actually seeing people who are alive at that time. You time travel back in time to go visit these places. It is a chronological zoo that I am suggesting is run by a company that's called White Horse.
Yes.
So
I love it.
Okay, beautiful. Anyway.
Woo!
Yeah, baby. It all comes back.
Yeah, baby.
So we have our protagonist, and they are in a realm that is at risk of being taken over. They've been used to going to other timelines to check them out. Now someone's coming to them, and they're like, wait a second, all of a sudden this isn't right, you know what I'm saying? So he is going to do his absolute darndest to end the cycle forever. And I think that's, there was a lot of other stuff discussed, but...
So much stuff discussed. But that's the gist.
That's the gist. So that's where we are. So, company, time travel company, White Horse.
How do we want to divide this up? Because ultimately we want to establish time travel exists.
Yes.
We want to show what they use it for, and then we want to show that they are getting targeted to become one of these paired or pruned timelines.
Yes. I think that is Act 1 of 3 acts. So it's a very quick, a very definite time travel exists. Kind of like, the opening of Dark Knight where he's like, boom, here's the Joker. Boom. Time travel exists. It leads up into the very end of Act 1 where we have the turn where the future is coming back to his timeline.
We could do, rather than showing it, just telling it, and do like a Star Wars or Blade Runner type.
Yeah.
opening text scroll.
Text scroll. Text scroll or like
Text
a
scroll.
Dune spoken opening?
Oh,
Scroll.
yeah. Yeah.
Well, what if we have the marketing material for Whitehorse, and it's like an AI voice reading the brochure to you?
Yes. It's like the brochure, so it goes through the history of the White Horse, and then so it goes through the history of the White Horse, and it tells you like what this world is like, and then in Act 2 and 3 they go back in time to stop the White Horse from existing, and you see that the brochure is lying.
Oh shoot! Oh, I dig it. Yeah, because the brochure is misrepresenting how the past feels about being a display.
Yes. Okay, so back to your act structure. What are you thinking for 2 and 3?
So, brochures like half of Act 1. Maybe not half. That might be a bit much. But
I think that's like 2 minutes.
Yeah. So it like comes back to our protagonist. He's the one experiencing the brochure. It's not just for the audience. Like it's real. He's the one watching it because he's going on an excursion. Mm-hmm. He goes on an excursion to anywhere. We can figure that out because it's not sure.
So we have him go out on an excursion, and we have him meet people on that excursion.
Yeah.
And then he goes back to his own timeline, and then when he returns, what do you think about? They have like a White Horse representative that is addressing this new or his timeline, and saying you have been selected for a White Horse destination.
Yeah. And destination. I like it.
And it is not like what the brochure states.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of oppression. There's oppression, and there is kind of like a reset. So they are stuck in time.
Yes.
So then he realizes this, sees this happening, and he's like, okay, I gotta end this. Mm-hmm. And he...
What if the mechanism that how they cut off time is they limit it to a day. So the day ends, he's going to Groundhog Day wake up in the morning of that same day, of the previous day.
Yeah.
We can work out the mechanics of that, but that's how they do it. They literally section off a day in history. Okay. And then that adds more to the bum luck, like one day out of history, instead of taking an entire in my head it was like the Old West is just gone, or like it's taking one day out of the Old West makes more sense than trapping everyone that's ever existed over there or back then. So that makes sense. Cut off to a day.
Yeah. No, I like that. So keeping it to a day, and that experience is not what it's like in the brochure. Yeah. And they are not just happy zoo animals. They are mind wiped every day, and they have a non-existence existence.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
So he hops back into the time machine. Yeah. Maybe this is the first White Horse destination that has the existence of time travel. Okay. Yeah. So there's like some kinks to work out of the system of like, what do we do when we go back and sequester a time that has the ability to time travel?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So then we have a section where they are getting the band together to then go, and that's kind of the Act 2 bit where they're rounding up the people that are going to go back to the origin of the White Horse and cut it off. Maybe instead of going back to a sequestered place, what if it is not one person that we are following, but two people that we're following, and one of them is a White Horse employee. Is just very fascinated by time travel and all of that, and can hack the device so that it doesn't just limit them to just going to sequestered areas, and they can actually go back to the actual time in which it was created in the first place.
Yeah, actually change events, because you probably couldn't.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a thing. You can't change history based on what you do at the sequestered day.
Yeah. So then Act 3 is them... So Act 2 is the two of them going to the places that they went to on their excursion.
Yeah.
And getting some help from people that they met along the way there. Mm-hmm. And then Act 3 is them being back in the origin of time travel time, which I think we can do as like present day.
Yeah.
Kind of fun.
Good call.
And I don't know, it could just be like we blow up a data center or something that holds all of the secrets to time travel, but it's like this turns into a Terminator franchise where it's inevitable and it's going to happen anyway.
Oh.
And just
deal with it, bro.
Each movie is trying to end it before it begins, and it's ultimately futile. But
what if we plan this to be a trilogy, and the first attempt fails, but it lays the foundation for how it could potentially be done, and we do kind of like a original Star Wars original trilogy where it potentially could have been a standalone, but then 2 and 3 are really a through line. Like they're basically just one long movie where we show that it can be done. They succeed kind of, but not obviously in its entirety. The Empire's still out there. White Horse is still out there. And then 2 and 3 that's a lot of content.
We'll lay the groundwork for it.
We'll figure it out.
Well,
it's not coming soon.
Think, not coming soon. I think that we did pretty good.
We're very invested in the...
the time travel mechanisms.
Yes. So if we made any egregious errors in the concept of time travel...
We absolutely did.
We did.
I don't think you... Well, don't think... Yeah.
Yeah. Tell us. Put it in the comments. Leave a little comment down there. What did we mess up? Let us know. Are you having a good time or having a bad time? Let us know. Put it in the comments. Please.
Yeah, just put it in the comments.
Like, subscribe, share. Why do people say share? Am I supposed to email this to somebody? I never get that one.
You never get... Do you never share links with anybody?
Not a lot. I share reels.
You're part of our problem.
Oh yeah.
But do you have a connection for me?
Oh yeah. In honor of spooky season, we will do the Queen of Spooky herself, Catherine O'Hara.
Okay.
To Tom Hanks, and there could be a ton of things that I missed that you could get, but I have my line. My line's fun.
Okay. Man, I feel like Tom Hanks is so singular in a lot of his things. I'm really struggling. Got it.
Yes. What you got?
Tom Hanks is in Catch Me If You Can.
Oh.
With Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
Who's in The Departed.
Yeah.
With Martin. Oh.
Yeah. No.
Who's in The Departed with Alec Baldwin, who's in Beetlejuice with Kevin
Nice. Cool. I
was gonna do Martin Sheen, and then Martin Sheen's in something with I don't know. Forget about it. We got there.
I too used Beetlejuice for Catherine O'Hara with Michael Keaton.
Okay.
Michael Keaton is in Toy Story 3 with Tom Hanks.
Oh, Barbie!
Oh, Barbie. Those were vintage.
Well, I think we had a great time today.
I know we had a great time. I hope you did too.
If you're here, your family.
Yep.
If you're
not here,
so inclined,
go
ahead and if you're not here, if you're here, your family again.
Yes.
But if you are still here, please if you would be so kind, drop a like.
Yep.
Drop a comment. Respond to me in the comments.
Yes.
If anybody responds to my comments in the comments, I will be over the moon.
Yes. How sad is it that we comment on our own show? Tell us. Punch us in the face. We are looking for any sort of sensation from you, our fans. Please watch our show.
Well, we love you very much, and we hope you sleep well, or have a good rest of your day.
Enjoy spooky season.
Yeah, and blessings.
Blessings.
And you know what? Most of all, we hope you get to where you're going.
Please, get there safely, but mostly just get there. I've
been Jeff.
Hey, he's been Jeff. I've been Ryan, and thank you so much for joining us on Not Coming Soon.
Post-productions or pre-productions.
Pre-production.
Pre-production
production. That's hilarious. Man, I hope we make it, because that's so funny. Pre-production productions.